I have a question, but it might be a bit too far into the future. It's still in its infancy in Europe and other places around the world, but I'm curious, is there any discussion?
Allow my video to be open. This is Colonel Monishawi.
Is there any discussion in India about the application of green hydrogen or hydrogen offset from other industries for use in cogeneration or other technologies?
Chance, can you help me to start my video, please? Because I'm trying from my end, it's not getting on.
I'm afraid I don't have that much influence. Maybe my colleague.
Okay, it's on.
There you're back.
Great, thank you.
Yes. Well, I had just a question about the potential for hydrogen in India, but
see, I believe to answer that, the green hydrogen program in India, green hydrogen will be, classified as green hydrogen provided it is produced from any of the renewable energy sources. So to that extent, I believe the cogeneration or the CHP, which is a renewable energy source, it could be the bagasse-based cogeneration, or it could be the biomass-based cogeneration other than bagasse, or it could be the CHP applications. Also, so any of these sources which are, if at all, they can be used for production of hydrogen, it would be termed as green hydrogen. Yes, to that extent, I believe the sugar industry in India is now transforming from standalone sugar mills to bioenergy hubs, and what I mean by that is the sugar industries are now capable to produce ethanol. Again, which is a big mission mode program in India at the behest of our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi. And we hope to achieve the E20 targets hopefully over the next 2 years or so, before 2025. The sugar mills are also into the production of bio CNG. A lot of spent wash and a lot of press mud is now getting piped for the production of the bio CNG. And as I said, the government of India has now permitted establishment of retail outlets where even and there is a huge lot of program which is happening at the farmers' end, where their tractors are getting retrofitted with CNG kits. So bio CNG is finding a very good application, and it is coming out of the sugar mills. And I believe in the near future, probably hydrogen will also be an important constituent of the energy production mix in the sugar mills, largely because the hydrogen pricing issues are coming out of the stupendous cost of electricity that requires that goes into the generation of hydrogen. So I think to that extent, the sugar mills with the cogeneration projects already in place should be able to do a worthwhile game in this. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Excellent answer. Very interesting.
If I can just add to what Mr. Khatal said, utilization of green hydrogen for CHP, Clark Energy alongside INEO are ready to offer gas engines which can be fueled with blended natural gas blended with hydrogen to be utilized for CHP application, as well as with 100% hydrogen. Mr. Khatal was right in saying that it is because of the cost of the fuel itself that currently the industry is not in a position to go ahead and utilize it. Because there is a lot of progress yet to be made in terms of generation of green hydrogen itself. As a first step, what we see in the India geographical area is where green hydrogen would be generated. It would be used for two applications. One is conversion of green hydrogen to green ammonia, whereby the country can bring down the import of ammonia, which currently is gray. It is close to about 5 million metric tons of gray ammonia, which is imported by the fertilizer industry. And the second application where we see there will be certain amount of momentum in utilization of green hydrogen would be injection of green hydrogen in the gas grid, the natural gas grid, all with the intent of trying to bring down the carbon footprint. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And in fact, this conversation, this exchange has addressed the last open question that we had in the Q&A function. I have another question, if you don't mind, and maybe I missed it in the presentations, and I apologize, but I'm quite curious about the different technologies that are being used in India. Is it mainly engines, reciprocating engines, or do you have gas turbines and other technologies used in the sugar industry and other industries? Just curious myself.
Can I?
Yeah, please go ahead.
All the technologies that are available today, the Indian industry has been using those technologies. As Mr. Mittal had mentioned during his presentation, I think one of the key factors in terms of selection of the technology when it comes to these sort of applications is more in terms of the heat to power ratio. So if you're talking of a sugar mill, then the requirement, the thermal requirement is higher than the electricity requirement, and that's the reason that turbine fits in very well in that sort of a sector. Where the customers are looking out for the base requirement as power generation, and are in a position to recover the waste heat by installing a waste heat recovery boiler or having a vapor absorption machine to generate chill water for the air conditioning or the process chilling. That's where people think of a reciprocating gas engine technology, where you're going to have higher electrical efficiency and maybe slightly less thermal efficiency, but the overall efficiency would be closer to what the turbine technology is in a position to offer. So all the technologies are being used by the industry, but it is more to do with the heat to power ratio, which makes them the choice of the technology to be done.
Excellent point. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and so just to the add of Mr. Abhijit, what he has told, I just put up my thoughts and some data to you. As of now, 95% to 99% is the steam turbines we are having in our industries. And but I think Abhijit is catching up very fast in terms of the biogas and natural gas engines, and it is developing a very good market out of this waste treatment plants and all, which is producing abundant natural gas. But it is still an nascent stage in the India. But I am seeing a very good opportunity in this. And second thing, this hydrogen part of theory in India, it is basically, as of now, I think $12 is the per kg conversion of the hydrogen gas is in India as of now, which is the technology available. It is very high as compared to $2 in America and West European countries, which I have seen there. So we are catching up there just to bring down the break even in terms of the energy and given the grid parity to our electricity there.
Thank you. We actually have another question that's come through on the Q&A function. It's to Mr. Rajguru. It's about biogas power energy generation feeding to the grid. Is there a policy in place in Maharashtra that you're aware of?
Yes, the policy is very much in place in terms of feeding of the biogas-based power into the infinite source, which is the grid. Currently, what we are seeing is that with the kind of PPAs that are being signed with the DISCOMs, and the kind of rates that are being offered, any industry who is generating biogas today has got another option available with it, instead of utilizing it for power generation, but taking it through the route of the purification system to generate renewable natural gas under the Satat and the non-Satat policy. So what we have done is, for certain projects which are having a high flow rates of biogas getting generated. We have taken a decision that we would be promoting both the biogas upgrading solution and making sure that the project is also coupled with a biogas power to make the entire plant sustainable. But yes, the policy is very much in place in terms of generating electricity, utilizing biogas and feeding it in the infinite source, which is the grid.
Okay, thank you. Excellent. Anyone else want to chime in on any of the questions that have been asked? Oh, we have another question. We'll take one final question then. This is a question regarding payback period for biogas plants with the tariff variable. Is that something someone would like to try to answer? I guess it depends on a case-by-case basis, but yeah.
If I may.
Please go ahead.
Earlier times, whatever biogas was getting generated to be utilized for a CHP application, people used to never consider the cost of the fuel, because the only alternative that they had was to utilize biogas in a boiler and generate steam. Today, the economics are slightly different. As against, the comparison which is being done by the industry is utilization of biogas for power generation, and then the opportunity of, generating biogas and then having a purification system to generate renewable natural gas, which can then be utilized as bio-CNG. So earlier times, the payback period was anywhere between 1.5 to 2 years when it came to a biogas-based CHP plant using a gas engine, reciprocating gas engine technology. But the economics have changed because now there is an opportunity also to utilize this low calorific value fuel to go through the purification system to generate a high calorific value gas, which could be utilized for as a bio-CNG going through the bottling process, or it could also be injected in the grid.
To supplement what Mr. Rajguru just mentioned, I believe we have certain examples in Maharashtra where the turnaround has been anywhere between 1.5 to 1/4 to 2 years. So that's been the scene in Maharashtra for quite some 2 or 3 months.
Okay. Thank you for that. We haven't received any more questions, so I'd like to take this opportunity now to thank all of the panelists, the speakers, for their contribution. It was an excellent quality presentations and very, very well delivered. We appreciate that. It was only 90 minutes, and I'm sure we could spend many hours learning more about the cogeneration market in India. And I'm sure if there are any further questions about cogeneration in India, that they can reach out to COGEN India for more information. Already a lot of valuable information was shared this afternoon, and we're very pleased to have received different perspectives and different insights into different industries and different applications and different support schemes that exist in India. So that's also very much appreciated. So very happy to have all of you share your experience and your knowledge about the Indian power market, and in particular the cogeneration market. So thank you for that. I would just like to end with a few final slides that I will share right now. So as I mentioned, we were very pleased that this was the inaugural COGEN World Talk webinar series focusing on specific countries. In the future, we have some upcoming webinars that I'd like to share with you and all the participants. Our next country focus will be examining cogeneration in Japan, and that'll take place on the 5th of September. So look out for more information about how to register for this free webinar. We're planning to organize a country focus on Germany. The date has not been set, but we plan to do it in October at some point. And then following the thematic webinar on industrial cogeneration that we had in June, we will also be looking at district heating and cooling around the world, as well as small commercial application, hence buildings, hospitals, hotels, etc. And if schedules permit, we will also have some insight in terms of fuel cells, looking at the markets in Asia and in particular in Japan, but also an emerging market in Europe and in North America. Also this is just more information about the Japan in Focus webinar. It'll take place at 8 a.m. in Washington, 2 p.m. in Brussels, 7:30 in India, and 9 o'clock in Tokyo in Japan. It will be freely available, and those of you that cannot watch it live will have an opportunity to follow it as a recording on our CWC YouTube channel. And then just a reminder to all, we will have our second global market report on CHP, and will be presented as part of the COGEN World Talks webinar series. It'll take place in November at some point, probably the first 2 weeks of November, but keep a lookout for more information about the report when it's ready to be presented. So on that note, thank you again for everyone who has been following from around the world. And thank you again to our speakers. And we look forward to continued cooperation with COGEN India and their members, and much appreciated. And thank you for staying up. I know it's getting later now in India, so much appreciated there as well. And of course, for all of you who have woken up early for this or staying late, thank you also for watching. And thank you again, and looking forward to engaging the global community to talk further about cogeneration. So with that, I'll end the webinar, and thank you again, and bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very
Thank you,
much.
everyone. Thank you.